it's Melanie. Happy Wednesday. Today is just kind of a random share the love / what I'm watching on YouTube these days video. I have done share the love videos in the past, and I don't do them nearly often enough. Today though, however, I am going to be sharing the love not for other beauty channels, but some of the other kind of random but really enjoyable, informative, kind of thought-provoking channels that I've been watching. I do think it is super fun to watch beauty content on YouTube, but I have to admit that there is kind of a core group of videos that I watch, my favorite channels basically, but I haven't been watching a ton of beauty content as of late. I find myself really wanting a lot of things when I do that. So I have been trying to watch that within a little bit more moderation lately and have kind of been just focusing on some different things. So today I have a list of channels that I'm going to tell you guys about that I just have been really enjoying, and they are so random, you guys. Like, this is the most random assortment of channels, but I encourage you to branch out from just watching beauty stuff on YouTube, because there are some really funny and also just educational channels out there that are super, super entertaining. So I'm gonna start with a couple of channels that are somewhat related because they kind of talk about the same thing. The first is Bernadette Banner. So Bernadette lives in, I think she lives in New York City. In fact, I'm pretty sure she does. She makes period costumes. So like the Victorian period, the Edwardian period. She's really into fashion from like back in the day. And she sews this stuff herself. I find people who sew anything to be like just gods in my eyes, because I could not fix even a button to save my life. I mean, I could, but it's gonna look terrible. It's gonna be way overdone. It's just gonna end up like ruining the outfit in some kind of way. I might as well just burn it and start over. That is how bad I am at sewing anything. This woman like hand stitches corsets. Like, she has made corsets. Right now she's working on this like Lady Sherlock outfit. She just makes these beautiful dresses that are just stunning. And what she does with her videos is she kind of takes you through step by step from like the inspiration to, you know, just kind of cutting out all the fabric, and then how she pins it on the dress form, and how she, you know, alters things when they sometimes inevitably go totally wrong. It's amazing. It's amazing to me that this woman just like dreams up these ideas, and then like with her hands is like she just creates these things that are absolutely stunning. Obviously not things like an average person would wear nowadays, but she, like, sometimes she will sport something like out in Central Park. Like, she'll go out and model different dresses that she's done, or she dresses, she kind of dresses like she's from either the Victorian or Edwardian period kind of to begin with. Like, her sense of style is a little bit more old-fashioned, but also with like a modern twist. She just makes it work. She's super cute. Like, she's just cute. Like, she just reminds me of like girl next door who's super crafty and who you just kind of want to secretly be like. That's Bernadette. She's amazing. Another channel that is somewhat similar is Angela Clayton. By the way, I will link all these down below. She does similar things to Bernadette in that she creates outfits. But what she likes to do is she likes to pick up vintage patterns from like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, And she then uses these patterns to create these beautiful like 1950s like housewife, you know, inspired dresses, or you know, these really kind of cool like 70s like inspired outfits. She takes you through the process of picking the fabrics and, you know, following the step-by-step instructions on how to put all this stuff together. Like, I wouldn't know how to read a pattern, but like watching her, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess if I really wanted to do that, I could probably follow the instructions. But again, it would not turn out very cute. So I would never do these things. But I find it fascinating to watch these two women create these outfits from just fabric and needles and thread. Like, it's amazing. I would never make anything like that myself, like I said, but I just think it's fascinating to watch them, and they're just so talented, and they're both very easy to listen to, just very soothing voices, amazing channels. I will link them both down below. And to kind of go along with this weird obsession with like fashion from other time periods, there's two channels that I've been watching that just take you through how women and sometimes men would dress in the past. So there's two channels, Crow's Eye Productions and then Prior Attire. Fascinating. So both of them take you through like different time periods. So say like the medieval times or the Victorian times or like the 1920s. They literally take you through from like what women wore as undergarments, what, you know, like what kinds of stockings they wore, how they held their stockings up, whether they wore corsets or bras or just these chemise things, how, you know, all of like the different crinolines that were around like during the Victorian era, the, you know, the different types, the different shapes of the crinolines. I just had no idea that like so much used to go into getting dressed. Like, I get up every day and I'm like, sweatpants and or leggings, some random t-shirt that I bought at Target. This one, for example, says wine, dogs, and weekends. And what do I have on here? I'm sure it's some kind of penny goo. Yeah, and then during the summer, I wore my Birkenstocks. Like, that's the extent of my fashion. But I find it fascinating that women in the past just took so much more time to get ready, and the dresses were beautiful. Sometimes very restrictive, obviously, depending on the era, but it's just fascinating to see how women used to accessorize, what types of shoes they would wear with these outfits, how they were able to move around, how they were able to sit like in those big hoop skirts and stuff. It's just been fascinating to me, and I don't know. It was honestly one of those YouTube rabbit hole things where one day I came across Bernadette Banner, started watching her videos, and then Angela popped up in the sidebar as a suggested video, and then also the Crow's Eye Productions and the Prior Attire also started popping up on the side, and I just went down this rabbit hole of like fashion, and it is so interesting to me. It's not something that I have like a real passion about for myself. Like fashion has never been something that like I have a true interest in terms of like dressing up myself in any kind of way. I'm kind of at the in this season of my life where I don't really care. I'm lucky in that I work from home, so I don't have to wear you know, like dress pants. I don't have to wear skirts. I don't have to wear like little button-up jackets or anything like that. I don't work in an office setting anymore. So I have a lot more freedom, and I choose to just be lazy with my fashion right now. And I'm actually okay with it, but I'm still fascinated with what women used to do. So those 4 channels, if you have any type of like interest in the history of fashion, you should check them out. They're absolutely like, you'll sit there for hours and just scroll through video after video and just keep watching them. They're fascinating. Okay, next one, and this, I don't think that this could be more opposite from what I was just talking about. But I've gotten really into Joe Rogan, and I don't know why. I remember I used to watch Joe Rogan back in the days of like Fear Factor. That is what I remember him from. And I know he does like, I think like fighting, like, is it MMA? I don't know. I think he does commenting for some kind of like man sport. But his podcasts are fascinating, you guys. And when I'm at the gym, I will usually, he uploads them all to his YouTube channel. Is that my dog? Oh yes, there she is. He uploads them all to his YouTube channel. I mean, obviously you can listen to his podcast as well, but I like being able to like watch people talk. So when I'm working out, like when I'm on the stairs or the treadmill, instead of listening to music, I've been watching Joe Rogan clips on YouTube. I feel like he has a lot of very interesting opinions on things, and some of them are vastly different from my own. But I sort of find myself fascinated by listening to people who don't always share the same views as me. I admit that I have very strong views about certain things. I definitely have very strong political views. I have somewhat strong views on, you know, different things like parenting, stuff like that. But I also think it's good to see where other people are coming from, and to listen and to sort of take that in and then have a better understanding of other people, and obviously as a result more respect for other opinions that might be different from my own. That being said, there's a lot of things that he talks about that I'm also like very much in agreement with, but I just find him very articulate, and I think he's funny, and I just really enjoy watching those podcast clips when I'm working out. And I will literally just skip through like any number of the ones that he puts up. I mean, there's like so many videos that go up on his channel throughout the week. And there's obviously a large like backlog library that I have yet to even get through. So I find it very interesting. And yeah, if you haven't listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, I think he's pretty funny, and I mean, some things just really kind of make me think, and there have been some things that I have changed my mind about just after listening to him, and a lot of the experts that he has on. He has a lot of scientists that come on. He has a lot of doctors, different types of doctors, osteopaths, natural medicine doctors, you know, like he has a wide range of guests on the show, and they're all kind of fascinating. So, all right. And then the last two, I've also been really interested, and this kind of maybe goes back to the first four channels that I was talking about. I've been watching a lot of history stuff. So the two channels that I have really been enjoying for that are Timeline and then also Absolute History. Absolute History, there is a series on there, hidden killers of like the Victorian home, or hidden killers of the Edwardian home, or, you know, hidden killers in like the 1950s kitchen. Just interesting stuff where, like, looking back on it now, like knowing what we know about electricity and, you know, modern medicine, and then, you know, looking back in time at what they used to do is just kind of like, oh my God, how did anyone like survive any of that? So fascinating. And then Timeline has been great for British history, which I had no idea I had any type of like interest in, but I've been watching all of these like, you know, episodes on like the history of the British Isles, like from the time of like the Anglo-Saxons, all the way up to like, you know, more recent like World War II type history stuff. Just like for whatever reason, that's been really fascinating to me. So that's a lot of what I've been watching on YouTube, you guys, which has been great because I haven't been sitting here thinking about like, ooh, it's the latest and greatest makeup. Obviously, I love makeup. I'm never gonna stop loving about it. I'm never gonna stop talking about it. But I do think every once in a while, it's kind of good to sort of go outside of your norm and maybe try something or watch something new. And I don't know, you could become obsessed with some of this random stuff yourself. What I want to know in the comments down below is, what are these super random videos that you have come across going down the YouTube rabbit hole of, I mean, the stuff that is on YouTube is just absolutely hysterical sometimes, but yeah, it's so fascinating. So I want to know down below in the comments what you are enjoying outside of beauty content here on YouTube. So I will link all of these channels in the description box. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this slightly random video, but I hope that it maybe introduces you to something a little bit different, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye.